COVID has absolutely been beating us down for the last week, but we're back, and we're back with the top 3 Silver Surfer decks that I think you can be playing at the moment. So stay tuned. Let's go. Hey, Milky here, back again with another one. Today we're jumping in and talking about the top 3 Silver Surfer decks. I think there's kind of 3 decks for me with Silver Surfer that have risen to prominence and are probably the strongest decks you can be playing with him in. I also think that we haven't probably exactly figured out the best spot for Silver Surfer. Me, I have my own opinions on Silver Surfer and where I think he could potentially be best used, but today we've got 3 decks which I think he can work well in. These decks are like been circulating a little bit. There's people that have been playing around with these decks. I've done a ton of testing myself with these decks to see where they land, and these are the top 3 decks that I have for you today. Alright, so for me, I think Silver Surfer is a very good card. I think what he can do with 3 drops can be very strong, especially late on in the game. And because also playing Silver Surfer, or ideally playing Silver Surfer on that turn 6, it's very hard to counter. There's not a lot of counterplay that you can have, which is often a point of frustration for a lot of people. Also, another card that just pairs so well with Sarah. I'm not sure what they're going to be doing with Sarah down the track after the very minor nerf that they gave her recently, but another card that just pairs perfectly with Sarah. So I think Silver Surfer is a very good card, but I'm not certain that actually building an entire deck around Silver Surfer is the best thing that you can do with the card. I think he's a very good card. I think he combos perfectly well with a lot of other cards, particularly with Brood and another card that just works so well with Sarah. But in terms of actually building an entire deck with 3 drops, I don't think that's the best route to go down. As I said, I've done a fair amount of testing with lots of these types of decks, and I think Silver Surfer is a great combo card that can fit together with other pieces, just as a little unit within a deck rather than a deck within itself. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the decks that I think that Silver Surfer does work best in. So first up, we have the Patriot Silver Surfer deck, and I think this deck is okay. I think it is an interesting deck for sure. I think I've played around with different cards in different spots in this deck, but this is the one that was the most consistent and most successful for me. I think this deck is okay. I think this is my 3rd place deck, but it is a distant 3rd to the other 2. I think this deck is interesting. It's got multiple win conditions with Silver Surfer and Patriot, but it just feels like it doesn't hit the same as the other Silver Surfer decks in any way, shape, or form. I think the inclusions of Patriot and Mystique both being able to get the Silver Surfer buff is interesting, but in actual reality, when I play it out, it never felt all that strong, especially when I'm comparing it to the other decks that I played with Silver Surfer. I think this is a solid deck, though. I think it can do relatively well. You do need to draw well for this deck to kind of do what it needs to do. And I think the big thing with Silver Surfer is that you can not draw Silver Surfer 25% of the time, or you can not draw Patriot, and if you don't draw both, you're dead in the water. So I think this deck it's okay, but it's definitely not my pick of the bunch. Some key cards that we've got in the deck which I think come in are obviously Mystique, which works great with Patriot. That's a great little combo piece you've got there. You've obviously got your Silver Surfer and Brood combo, which is just a stock standard for Silver Surfer decks for sure. You've also got Sarah, which is going to make all of your 3 costs cheaper at the end of the game. If you can get her down on the board, you can have a very solid turn 6 play. But the other cards in the deck just kind of fill out the deck for the most part. I like storming locations, especially when you've got, debris and follow-up cards in the hand. Debris has that double kind of effect where you can get a buff from Silver Surfer, but then the rocks that you put out on the board negatively affect your opponent's board, but you can also buff them up with Patriot and potentially Mystique. There's a few options with this deck, and on paper, it actually looks like it should do quite well. In practice, it's felt a little bit clunky and a little bit funny to play out. It just definitely hasn't hit the same as the other decks for me. Definitely try it out if you're interested in Patriot and he's one of your favorite cards or something that you like trying out. He's definitely worth trying, but for me, it just hasn't felt the same as the other the other Surfer decks that I've used. All right, next up we have the Negative Surfer deck, and this one is, for me, head and shoulders above the Patriot deck. This is coming in at number 2 for me, and a lot of people would have this as probably the best Silver Surfer deck, especially if you've got the version with Bast, and I'll flash that Bast version up on the screen. I don't personally have Bast, so I haven't been able to play around with that deck, but I've heard tons of good things from people in the community. We've had a mod on our channel who just blasted their way all the way to Infinite with it and did really well. So I've heard lots of good things about the Silver Surfer Bast kind of negative deck. But for us, we're kind of got this vanilla version of the deck, which I still think does very well. We've got some key combo cards in the deck that just do really well with both Silver Surfer and with Mr. Negative. So you've got Ironheart, you've got Mystique, you've got Silver Surfer, which you can definitely flip with Mr. Negative as well. Rogue does really well in terms of stealing abilities, but also is just a great target for flipping with Mr. Negative as well. You've got your combo pieces, you know, with Silver Surfer, like your Brood, which you're always going to have, which actually benefits from the negative flip as well. So lots of good things going on in this deck. But the thing I think with building out a Mr. Negative Surfer deck, and what I've found more consistent, is to actually fill out the top end with some more kind of like larger cards, rather than just going down the route of including all of your kind of 3-cost cards. But I think this version actually gives you a lot more to play around with late on in the game, especially with the Iron Man in the mix. Great target for Mystique. I think it does really well. I think I've got White Tiger in mind for the interaction with Wong, because I found the weakness of this deck was actually reaching some locations, and I like having the flexibility to do that. So we've got a lot of kind of like cards which suit Silver Surfer in here for sure, but then I like having the top end actually work very well with Mr. Negative and other play lines that you can just have a little bit more flexibility. Earlier I talked about building an entire deck around Silver Surfer, and I think this is the stronger point of decks with Silver Surfer, is where you've got the core of a deck is actually built around another archetype, this one being Mr. Negative, but then you've got packages which work well with Silver Surfer within it. I don't think including an entire deck of 3-drops in this case was beneficial, at least in my testing, and I like going down the route of having a few different options, especially with this Mr. Negative deck. Our last Silver Surfer deck, and what I think is the best, or at least the number 1 deck for me in my experimenting and testing, is the On Reveal Surfer deck. Now, a lot of people might disagree with this or have different opinions on this, but for me, this has been the most consistent version of Silver Surfer deck, one that does very well in lots of different circumstances with lots of different locations, and something that's been really reliable as well for me. I really enjoy kind of like some of the combo pieces we've got in this deck. We do have a good amount of 3-drops which are going to benefit. We have 6 3-drops in the deck which are going to all benefit from Silver Surfer. But as I said with the Mr. Negative deck, this deck doesn't just solely rely on drawing Silver Surfer. There's other ways to win the game which can do very well in their own right. We have other cards in this deck which do very well as on-reveal cards. Cards like Ironheart. You've obviously got Silver Surfer in there for the big buffs. We've got Gambit, which can be a sleeper pick late on in the game and can do quite well. We've also got Wolfsbane, which can go a long way to winning you a single location if you've got potentially with Wong on that location. Because I found with Wong, with a lot of times when you're playing Wong, is you're obviously not often winning the Wong location because you're kind of dispersing power elsewhere, you're doing other things on the board. But Wolfsbane can go a long way to actually winning that location, as well as if you're potentially stacking Ironheart and Silver Surfer on that location, you're pretty much locking down that location. You got a Brood on another location. It looks like game over for the most part. I really, really enjoy this deck. I think it does a lot of things very well. So we also have Absorbing Man in our deck, and we've only recently unlocked Absorbing Man, and I've been pretty impressed with what he can do, especially in this on-reveal deck. I think pairing Absorbing Man only with Silver Surfer is a bit of a miss. I don't think it works that well, especially the consistency of having them at the same time. But for me, because we have lots of other strong on-reveal effects in this deck, you know, we've got Silver Surfer, but we also have things like Gambit. We have Wolfsbane in here. We potentially even have Brood. You could copy his on-reveal ability. Ironheart, White Tiger. We've got lots of different options for Absorbing Men in this deck, and I've been pretty impressed with what he can do for sure. I think the option, if you don't have Absorbing Men or you don't want to play him, is definitely to replace him out with Mystique. Mystique works super well with Wong, as everyone would know, and I just think Mystique adds a lot of value in the deck, especially with having Silver Surfer there for sure. I preferred playing Absorbing Men. I just think he gives you that flexibility and that options to play around, but Mystique can be absolutely crazy as well. All right, I've got some gameplay coming up with each of these Silver Surfer decks, so stick around and check it out. Just hold here. This is kind of fine. Colossus is interesting. Okay. We got Monster Island. Do have Sarah. I think we'll just debris here. Still kind of fine. Gonna be playing Sarah next turn anyways. Is this probably the best play? Just where do I play it? I'm gonna play this middle. Let's try this. Carnage. Okay.
Enough said, bub.
Lots of people playing Wolverine lately. Really interesting. This could have been like a Galactus deck and we could have like foiled his plans maybe. We have 4 cards in the deck, Patriot and Surfer are in both are in the bottom there. Like, I kind of want to get the full value out of Brood, but I don't actually think we need to. I think this is going to be the better play. But we're just banking on drawing Silver Surfer here. But we'll see. Oh, he's going to have a death then. Probably a zero cost death. Should be interesting. Alright, so we get Surf up. We'll have to see if we can, So this is big. We need to try and win 2 locations here, so I think we go... Wait. What am I doing? So I go here. I go here. Wasp, Silver Surfer. What's the other play? The other play is we could go here. Like this. Playing all the locations with this. His final turn is like death and something. Let's give it a go. I don't know if we're gonna win this one. Deathlock, that could go anywhere. Goes back to the same location. Death, okay, so we weren't really playing to win that location anyways. I think we're good. Yeah, we got this one. Good old Silver Surfer coming in at the end. That was a big top deck for us. Now we're jumping in with the Mr. Negative Surfer deck, which I think is probably one of the better decks. I definitely think the Bast version is pretty significantly stronger, but in saying that, I think Mr. Negative decks are still good in general, for sure. What do we want to do here? We don't have ways to flip locations, which is, it's something, but I can Wong over into... So... Does this mean we have to stack as many? I think we do this. Yeah, we do. We definitely do this with Silver Surfer, and we get 3 drops into the middle. This is going to be our play line, I think. Sabertooth, cool. Cheeky play. Like it. Alright. Oh, okay. So if he doesn't have a way to shut this down, we're in the money. If he... Let's see. The Bucky's cheeky. But because of the Nexus, Death's Domain does not matter anywhere near as much. That just seems wasteful, doesn't it? Oh, I guess you can just keep doing that for fun. Funsies. Okay, so... Last turn we want to do these two. I think this turn we just want to do this. This and pass. If he flips, if he has a way to flip this location, we're in a bit of trouble. We're going to have so much power onto the Nexus. We have to play around him flipping the Nexus, right? Otherwise we get ourselves in trouble. We're going to have so much power anyways, I don't think it's going to matter. So let's do this. Just in case he has a way of flipping the Nexus. Like, we could have had a lot more power onto the Nexus, but we have to play around him flipping it. Okay, so he wasn't going to flip it. I want to snap this guy, and for efficiency, I totally should. But I'm not going to. I'm going to let this play out. I'm going to let this play out. I'm going to see if he lets it play out. But this is a pretty insane final turn. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe he plays it out. Love to see this combo go off. Might have a sneaky Enchantress on the final turn. That could be nasty, but it's going to be too late anyways. I think anything that he does here is going to be too late. We get the retreat. Would have been nice to see that combo go off. We would have had some thick boys in the middle straight off, so probably not going to be able to make use of Atlantis, but that's okay. Got Brood and Wong in hand, which is you don't mind seeing. Wonder if you can draw Mr. Negative. Okay, don't want to see Mr. Negative now. All right, we get Mr. Negative anyways. Probably go and give this one a miss. I mean, we might be able to get it out with Wong Mystique, actually. We can win the Wong location, right? With Wong, Mystique, and Wolfsbane. Just go crazy a little bit. And then we want to Ironheart on that location too. Right, let's go ahead and do this. Let's get Wong out. Carnage. Okay. He's probably running a death in this deck. You have to assume that he's drawn it as well. Okay, that doesn't make any difference to the game. That's okay. So that doesn't change our play line anyway, which is good. So we go Wong, Mystique, Brood probably, or Brood, Wolfsbane. I think we're in a half decent spot. So I think our final turn is Ironheart Wolfsbane. Okay, so he probably is going to play Death here. Death Hero here. Do we just forego this lane? We could do that to maximize what Ironheart's doing. I think if we're giving up on it, we're giving up on it. Let's do this. Angel and Bucky. Okay, so now I feel better about this play for sure. I think we're going to snap back here. I don't know if we beat a I don't know if we beat a death here. Death something. Okay, so we broke the bot. We queued a bot and we broke it. They didn't play their last card. Very nice, 25 power on Wolfsbane. Love to see that. Look, it wasn't a Mr. Negative game, but it was still... we had Mr. Negative there. You just don't play Mr. Negative when you get Lamentus. Straight into Lamentus 1. Not usually what you want to see, but we have an incredible hand. Like, I've got to say, we have an incredible hand here. So I think I want to... do I want to... Oh, gosh. So many options here. I could go into Wong here. Or I can skip and go Sarah. We got some crazy turns here. Do I skip and go Sarah? Or do I go Wong? Sarah's got to be the call, right? Because what am I doing? I skip Wong. On 4, I do nothing. So let's go ahead and skip. Vibranium. We don't really care about those. Let's go ahead and do this. Hopefully he doesn't have a way to counter Sarah. Otherwise we do kind of shoot ourselves in the foot a bit here. Okay, so he's got Mjolnir. That's fine. No dramas there, my friend. Alright, so we'll go into Sarah here. I don't think we're going to be able to get the Odin off this game, but that's okay. We're going to have some madness on the last turn regardless. I think we just go Sarah, Wong. And then we... do we have enough 3 costs out? Might need to try and win a location here. So maybe this. Yeah, we'll have to do this because we might need the... just a little bit of power from Vibranium. Looks like he's got a Silver Surfer deck too. Which is cool. That's cool. Okay, so... do we want to brood now? What does that do for us? Nothing. Brood now allows us to play 1 extra Vibranium, which is pretty good, to be honest. So I think we're going to be playing the Vibranium here with Ironheart. Yep. I think this is the right play. Do we want to then stack this location? No, I guess we can play. I think we're good. Let's go with this. I'm glad we did this. I had a feeling it was going to play into the Thor location. I don't know, just had this feeling. Okay, so we play a Vibranium here. Vibranium here. Wait, we probably don't want anything to hit this, so we do this. And then we just do this. Can we win this location? I think we can. Unless you like brood Silver Surfer here. Do we then want to Vibranium here? No, he's going to play his Mjolnir anyways, so I think we just need the whatever power we can get. So we play this, we play this. This order doesn't matter. Okay, let's do this. I wonder if we could have set this up. So this is Mjolnir, okay. This is the lane I was worried about. I wasn't sure if we could beat it. Oh, so he had silver. Yeah, he had Death Silver Surfer. Damn, we probably need this to hit right. Yeah, we hit right. Yeah, okay, we're good. We're good. Nice game. Nice game to round things out. I think we could have done something with Odin potentially. We could have played like maybe Brood Silver Surfer last turn. No, I don't think so actually. I mean, we maybe could have figured out some other turns with Odin, seeing as though we got Sarah out on turn 4. But no, we ended up doing well. We just had to roll right with Ironheart, but we gave ourselves the best chance to do that. Probably should have not played this first. Probably should have just gone with the what we had out and then Ironheart. Little tweak there, but yeah, we got the one out there for sure. It's a good one. Alright, going for another one with the on reveal Silver Surfer deck. Asgard straight off the bat. Into Atlantis. All the A locations here. Have a pretty nice hand, to be honest. We need some three drops, preferably Brood. But we got some play lines here. The best draw here is Psylocke for a card. Okay. We do get Brood, so Brood's nice. Can like Brood here. You figure out a way to get out Sarah. So at the moment we're going. We need to figure out a way to get out another 3-drop. Because the combo I was looking at was Sarah. Yeah, which okay, so we can do Wong Gambit Odin, which is just like on reveal stuff. We could do I don't know how we win this location if we do this though. Like if we go Wong, Sarah. This also gives us options though. So we could go Wong here. Okay, I don't mind this. Wong, Sarah. Okay, we'll split these two up as well. Okay, so now we're kind of sweet. We got a pretty strong play line here. I don't think we need Absorbing Man here for this. We can we'll just do Sarah and then we might have some fun with Gambit too. I think we're good. I think it's looking like Gambit, Ironheart, and Surfer on the final turn. Actually, it would be Storm. Cute Venom. He's also given us... No, he keeps initiative here. So, a Gambit in the middle location's actually pretty savage for him. Because he's going to finish the game with a Taskmaster. It feels slack. It feels slack to do that to him. But it's our best playline. Like, we could also just, do whatever. We could win middle location like that. We've got a few ways to win this game, to be honest, I think. I think, like, this is one way to win it. The other way to win it is just to not do that there. We just go after the one location. And I think this could also work. This is going to be a fun turn. Let's go. Let's see if we can get this out. The leader. Oh, this could be bad. Okay, this is really bad now. Who did that hit? Oh, it hit that. Okay. Oh my gosh, what a crazy end to the game. Yeah, I really thought he was ramping up for a Taskmaster there. I was so confident that we were going to end up with a Taskmaster. And we ended up with the most insane even tie of the game. Crazy. All right, so that's it for our top 3 Silver Surfer decks. We've got the 3 here, and you might see some trends, obviously, with the decks with Sarah and Brood making their way into all of the Silver Surfer decks. I think they are incredible combo pieces to include with Silver Surfer. And if you're building out the deck with some reasonable other 3-cost cards, maybe not the entire deck of 3-cost cards, but I think you're setting yourself up for a pretty decent deck if you're building in Sarah, Brood, and other solid 3-cost cards to support Silver Surfer in that manner. So for us, definitely the on reveal and Mr. Negative versions were the most successful and most consistent of these decks, and I can highly recommend playing them. If you're a Patriot fan though, give the 3rd deck a try. It can definitely be something that can work out for you. It's just not that consistent in my experience. All right, let me know in the comments what you've been playing with Silver Surfer, what decks you've been running, and what things you've been trying out. I'd love to hear from you. Hey, we'd love to have you to subscribe to the channel, so smash that subscribe button, like the video, and until the next one, I'll see you then.